Gaiaseed Project Seed Trap is a very rare side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that was released for the PlayStation in Japan only in 1996. And this game, in many ways, is often considered to be very like the Gradius series. That was another iconic shoot-'em-up series that was released in the arcades and on other consoles. The game received fair reviews in the magazines, many stating considering the gameplay to be quite repetitive in many cases. And at the time it was released, because of the graphics and the visuals, it was more of an early 16-bit era game, as I think reviewers were more accustomed to the evolution of visuals, so they thought more or less that it was going to be like a more of a 3D experience, but not so much, as not every game on the PlayStation had to have 3D graphics. Some games played better and fared better with old school visuals, and the PlayStation alongside the Sega Saturn were more than capable of being able to get the most out of 2D visuals on the consoles. But again, they wouldn't be for everybody. This game does often come up in topic of conversation quite regularly, as it's a very rare game. It's very hard to find, although in saying that, the game did see a release on the PlayStation Network in 2009, but you needed to have access to a Japanese PSN account in order to play the game. As of recording this video, there are no known local translations of the game, but truthfully you don't really need it, because it really just is a standard shoot 'em up. While it is good for what it does represent, if you've played one shoot 'em up, you've pretty much played them all. They play very similar to each other. It's just a case of coming in, avoiding obstacles and enemy objectiles, shooting everything that moves, fighting bosses, and just trying to progress as far as you can with the amount of lives or credits that you have at your disposal. So there's 3 difficulty levels with 7 stages in total, and now the game plays from a horizontal perspective, very similarly seen in older games. And it has some really nice visuals, especially during the early phases of the game when you look at the likes of the intro sequences and video elements. It tries to tell the narrative of the story, and the pixelated graphics that are on show are quite breathtaking considering for its time. They don't look out of place in it at all, and even when you look back at it now, you can respect and appreciate the level of detail that went into creating these experiences. So with regards to the gameplay, it is fast paced, there's a lot going on. As with many of these type of shooters, you do gain access to a lot of different varieties of weapons, different power-ups and upgrades that can allow you to shoot multiple objectives on the screen at any one time. You can gain access to laser beams, rockets, explosives, various different type of attributes, even some kind of like nuclear bombs where you can blow up everything on the screen all at once, and you will gain more points and bonuses depending on killing multiple enemies at the same time, and the quicker you can kill enemies overall. The game does have different endings depending on the difficulty and some of the choices that you have to make. As with many of these games, at different points you will have the option to choose which direction that you take, which in turn will have a reflection on the path that ends with the game. So there's enough playability here for fans of shoot 'em ups definitely to have a look at. For most people, you'll want to play starting off at least normal difficulty to get a feel for the game, but if you want to prove your real skills, then playing on the hardest difficulty will be for the most hardcore of player. But there's definitely enough here to keep you entertained for quite a while. There's a great use of backdrops, visuals, enemy variants, and just overall the use of strategy that's needed in order to complete each of the levels. Mind you, it will challenge you, and if you're not used to these type of games, you will probably find it a struggle, as you always have to be mindful of your surroundings, especially when you're flying through more claustrophobic style areas where you have to be mindful of the ceilings and the ground beneath you, as once you come in contact with them, it's instant game over. So you have to watch out for that, as well as trying to destroy enemies and avoid incoming dangers. All in all, it's not a bad title. It's just another unique shoot 'em up that, if you're a fan of this genre, is one to definitely try out. And funny enough, or should I say luckily enough, the PlayStation has no shortage of these type of games on the system. Now they won't appeal to everybody, that's plain to be seen, but they definitely will appeal to a unique type of player and for fans of this genre. And if you've grown up playing games like this here on 8 and 16-bit systems, you'll definitely feel right at home here. But I would love to know your thoughts of Gaiaseed for the PlayStation if you have played it yourself, and what did you think of it overall if you have managed to play it, or do you enjoy shoot 'em up games in general? So be sure to share it down in the comments below, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be updated of future content. And if you would like to see more videos on the channel around other types of shoot 'em up games similar to this that were also released on the PlayStation, then you can check out the playlist on screen to see more of those games in action. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.